today. I now call this meeting of the SDSU Student Association to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Vice President Sierra.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. We have a full house today. We will begin, then moving on to roll call. Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please call the roll?
Senators Anderson. Here. Bullwig.
Here.
Bry. Unexcused. Christoffels. Derenge. Foley. Holland.
Here.
Catanum.
Here.
Lopez excused. Mollison.
Here.
Podell.
Here.
Roca.
Here.
Sharples Schmidt.
Here.
Shrestha.
Here.
Siwa Cody excused. Sleep unexcused. Smith.
Here.
Wallen.
Here.
Warfa.
Here.
Diversity Liaison Alex.
Here.
Communications Chair Regenberg.
Here.
Finance Chair Delahoy. Government Affairs Chair Hunt.
Here.
Chief of Staff Peterson. Here. Vice President Sierra.
Here.
President Spear.
Here.
AFA.
Here.
AISA.
Here.
BSA unexcused. GSA.
Here.
Hero.
Here.
Honors College.
Here.
IRC.
Here.
LASA.
Here.
RHA.
Here.
Unified Council.
Here.
Unified Council.
Here.
UPC.
Here.
Advisor Bylander.
Here.
Advisor Schmidt.
Here.
Advisor Willis excused.
Moving on to adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? Senator Bullwig.
I move to suspend the rules and waive the first reading of commemoration 25-7-C.
Moved and seconded to waive the first reading of commemoration 25-7-C. Are there any objections? Seeing none, all those in favor of waiving the first reading, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are waiving the first reading, moving that item to unfinished business, commemoration 25-7-C. Any other additions or corrections to tonight's agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the amended agenda? Senator Derenge.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of approving the amended agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda is approved. Moving on to the minutes. We didn't have a meeting last week, so this is 2 weeks ago. Any additions or corrections to tonight's or that night's minutes? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve? Senator Bullwig.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes are approved. All right, moving on to open forum item A. We have Dr. Christy Tornquist, Dean of the Library, with Jonathan Meendering, Director of Campus Planning.
Thank you so much for the invitation to be here with you tonight. Sure appreciate it, and thank you. I'll try again. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here tonight. I sure appreciate getting a moment to speak with you. I'm not sure if Jonathan's here or not. I mentioned to him, and he thought he could come. So if he walks in, we'll wave him down. So I've had the privilege of serving as the Dean of the Briggs Library for the past 15 years. And I'm really excited to be here tonight at Senator Emma's invitation to talk with you a little bit about some plans that are in the works for renovation to the building, but also a few other updates about what's going on at the library. But I want to thank this organization over the years. I've had the privilege to work with you and see what strength you bring to our campus, the community that you form, and the many positive things that come from this organization, and I appreciate all that you do. And if I need to move my screen, I'm sorry. Oh, you did it for me. No, you go ahead. But thanks. I also have a few more personal items of thank you that I just want to mention. And first of all is participation on the University Library Committee. And I don't know if there's a few of you in here. I don't know if, because there's so many. Anybody else on the Library Committee here? Just want to thank you for all that you do each year on that committee. Your voice is strong at that committee, and the faculty listen to what you're saying, and so really appreciate all that input. But also, in particular, I want to call out last year's participation by this organization. Some of you may be aware that last year's legislative session started out with a pretty severe cut to the state library, and it was going to have a direct impact on our ability to serve you here, but also, just as importantly, which senators pointed out to me, preparing students coming through elementary and high school as they come here with potentially library services being cut. So your voice was so important at the state level. Those cuts did not end up being as dramatic as was proposed. So thank you for that. And then because we're moving into this process, hopefully, of renovating the library, we will be very much appreciating your feedback as that moves forward. We're going to need to know what you would expect and like to see in a library of the future. So I'm going to ask you right now in advance for your participation, and thank you for that. If Kate can go on. So just a few other updates on what's happening in the library. One that I forgot to talk about that the library committee was very instrumental in, and that was opening the building earlier on Sundays. And so we moved from a 1 o'clock start to a 12 o'clock start, a noon start, and that has been very popular. We've been keeping statistics on that. The library committee has reviewed them, and we will be continuing that into next year. So again, thank you always for your participation in making those changes. E-textbooks, some of you are aware that we purchase through the library e-textbooks, and we get perpetual unlimited access to them. So we work with the bookstore, find out what books faculty are requesting. We see if we can get them. We can't get all of them, unfortunately, but we have 360 titles right now. Your faculty let you know that those are available free of charge. And so over the years that started in COVID, we've saved hundreds of thousands of dollars for students, something that we think with a small investment in the library, we can really help you out. A similar thing that's cropped up more recently is called read and publish agreements, and that more impacts graduate students. You may not be aware that faculty and or students, if they want to publish, often have to pay for that privilege to publish their research, and that's not cheap. Let's say $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for an article. I see nods over here. So we're able, by doing a small uptick on our licensing fee, to allow SDSU people to publish for free. And that's been a great cost savings as well. So that's something relatively new. Currently for 2,500 journals, we're negotiating for another 1,300 right now, try to get that in place. And then of course, no talk lately would be complete without talking about AI. So libraries for decades have provided library instruction, information literacy instruction on how to analyze your sources, how to do that kind of research, what's credible, what's accurate. Hopefully many of you have had that in either your English or your comp class, speech and comp classes. But we're incorporating now more and more AI literacy into that, and it's another component of how you think about the information that you're garnering. We also have been adding some AI capabilities to our databases, some search capabilities. These are not very robust or mature right now, and so we're being pretty careful about how we're adding those. And we are finding a lot of value to using it for our archival processing, and I won't go into that any further, but thanks. Just a couple more comments on AI, though, that I've been thinking about a lot lately. You all are digital natives. I'm not a digital native. The guy whose picture up there is not a digital native. He's a 91-year-old graduate from, I suppose at that time, South Dakota State College in engineering. I had the opportunity to speak with him a couple weeks ago. He's 91 years old. He still is very interested in everything going on campus. And we had a long conversation about AI. He was up to speed on it, what was good, what was bad, what things were happening. And I thought, wow, this is how we need to prepare people in the future. So he and I weren't digital natives. I was prepared in my college education, as was he, to encounter these changes that are going on in the world. You guys are not AI natives. It's exploding around you. You're like I was in college, with something just changing the world. And so hopefully we're preparing you for all that's to come in the next 70 years of your life, just like our graduate from 1958. So things that we can do in the library to help you, please let us know. we're interested in that. We want to prepare you for the best future possible. So with that, we'll switch over to facilities things, if you want to. So some things that we're doing in the meantime before the big renovation would happen is looking at small tweaks we can do that are movable, if you will, or adaptable to a renovation. So whiteboards are super duper popular for those of you that get in the library. We've been adding more and more. This is another thing that the library committee had recommended that we do. We also had put in wall-mounted boards in those small study rooms. Again, those are popular as well. And we've been looking at alternative seating over the last few years. Booth seating, of course. Again, if you're in there, we get a lot of use on the booth seating. And then some other things if you go to the next picture. And I wanted the caveat, I took these pictures early on Friday morning, so there's nobody sitting in any of these, so it looks kind of empty, but I kind of purposely did that. So those are those study rooms on the top floor on the south side, about 12 of them. We also have some study rooms on the west side of that floor that are smaller than that. They only fit one person. They had been always used for graduate students could check out a key for a semester. We've been opening up more and more of those for just individuals to go in and use. So we're trying to expand that small study room space. We've added these, we call them infinity tables or tall tables by windows. People like those as well. We want to add some more where the blue couches are. And I know some of you love blue couches. Maybe not in this room. Certainly we have some in the building. We're not going to do away with the blue couches, but just rearrange them and put in some of those infinity tables. Okay, we'll go on. So this is a picture that was done 9 years ago. So 9 years ago, I commissioned a concept by a architectural firm called Ratio, that their experience is with library renovations and library new constructions. And they came in and talked with students, talked with Students Association. We had a lot of architecture and interior design students that showed up, talked to library staff about what it could be. So this is an interior photo, and I have these giant boards that I will pass around. And if you want to look at them, this might be kind of hard, but I didn't have a good way to do this otherwise. So, or you can, if you want to walk them around. Yeah, there's two more there. So the big deal is now, this was 9 years ago. 9 years ago, our world has changed a little bit, right? So you can't say, oh, I saw this picture and this is what it's going to be. I can't tell you that that's what the world's going to look like. But if you go on, we can come back to that too. So I'm so excited to tell you, and this is part of the reason Emma had to wait to have me come today. We had to wait until the Board of Regents approved the preliminary facility statement. And that happened the beginning of this month. If you want to go look at it, it's 5 pages long, so I'm not like going to read this to you because you wouldn't want to hear all that. But you can look at it at the Board of Regents agenda. It's item 7F. The document's there, and you can take a look if you want to read the whole thing. I pulled out just a few things to talk to you about. So the initial conceptual design, like bringing in and having them do that basic design work, would be $350,000. That's what's being budgeted for that. And they're estimating right now, before that work started, that the total cost would be about $33 million. And that, can you go back one?
Chump change.
One more. Yeah, there you go. If you notice on this picture, they've popped out the south end. There would be an addition on the south end and an addition on the east end. Again, this is not a promise that that can happen, but the design, what they've included in that textual part of what it would look like is it's going to need some additional square footage. So where it might end up is unknown, but let's say it might happen like that. If you want to flip 2 more forward. So some things that would change in the library would be the addition of some academic programmatic support services. And you can see the list: Wintrode Center, Testing Center, TRIO, math tutoring, first-year advising help desk. Of course, the writing center's already in there. So they would collect these support areas all in the same place. And that is in part why we would need an expansion, of course. And then the next slide. But there's some other things that need to happen in that building. There's some deferred maintenance. Certainly, I don't know if you're aware, but that ramp does not meet ADA code. So that ramp, something has to happen there. Then the idea would be to enhance that main entrance and tie it in more to the Jackrabbit Green so it kind of fits better. Restrooms need some help if you've been in there. That original plan was to put some sort of dining or cafe area in it. And then for the library part, we need some additional archival storage. So I'm going to stop there and see if you have questions or comments. I know you have a big night tonight, so but just wanted to make myself available now, or if you want to stop by sometime, I'm happy to visit with you in the library. And I know you have a protocol for taking questions, right? Oh, okay.
What are some things that maybe weren't in these initial concepts that you know for sure you're wanting to include based on the last 10 years?
What are some new things that have changed? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that aren't in here that you're definitely would want to include in the library.
Yeah, well, some of what is in there, we need more electricity. I mean, that's basic, right? We need some alternative study spaces, I think, for students. We're very interested in collaborative space. One of the worries I have about adding all those additional things is people often come to the library because they want quiet study space, so we really need to make sure we preserve some of that for folks. I'm just listing off things that are, I really want to make sure there's still windows for students. I don't want all the windows to go to offices for employees. Trying to think. That original design had a makerspace in it. We'd want to see if that still is a viable thing that people want. I mean, people can buy makerspace or 3D printing stuff at home, you know, so is that still something people would want? Yeah, and I should mention, so some of what's happening in the library is we're looking at our collections. What do we still need physical collections for? So we're still garnering that information. So we're going to need some space for collections still, but like how does that look anymore? So, and this is where it would be great if Jonathan was here, because when we talked through this a few months ago, at a minimum would be 3 years, and that's if all the funding falls in place and that kind of stuff. So this is going to be a little while. So yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. Comment also. I think it's critical to remember that nowadays libraries' functions are changing, right? They're becoming more of a student-centered space and less about holding journals and stuff, because a lot of that stuff's online. But the agreements that you guys have been signing have given, from my experience, the grad students really good access to the literature. We want to continue that. I've been to other universities where you don't have that access, and it frustrates the students, and it definitely affects your ability to recruit faculty. Because if you're trying to do a research project and you can't get any of the journal articles that you need to get, you have to start paying for them. It gets expensive really fast. So I think what we're doing is great, but I want to encourage us to continue to make those agreements and get as much as we can. So I know it's hard because you have this big breadth and how they package journals is frustrating and all that kind of stuff, but I think we're doing a good job there. So.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I hope it doesn't end up being, oh, you're renovated building, you don't need collections, and I don't think that's, I think our administration understands that it's different, so, yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good end of the year.
All right, moving on to open forum item B, student organization constitution with the pickleball club constitution. You guys are welcome to come up.
Right. Hi, my name is Leo Ostegard, and this is Lewis Nelson. Yeah, so we are planning on starting a pickleball club because we've seen the need for it on campus. We know a lot of students would benefit from having a space reserved to practice and play pickleball, not only here at SDSU, but with other colleges, both bringing them here to SDSU to play and also to travel. And to have a formal club to recognize that would give us the resources and the ability to make pickleball a really fun thing at SDSU. So yeah, do you have any questions for us based on our constitution?
I have a question. How many people are in your club?
So right now we have 7 members who signed our petition, but we're anticipating a lot more. Once we get Jack Club Hub and all that kind of set up, we'll get a roster on there. But we know at least 10 to 15 people would be willing to join pickleball. So yes.
Are you guys gonna do your practices or tournaments outdoors, or are you gonna do them in the wellness center?
Yeah, so plan is, if weather permits, have it outdoors, specifically here in this semester, as we're seeing the sun come out, probably host practices outside. But most of the time, as you all know, we're in South Dakota. Most of the time the weather does not permit. So we would be in the wellness center in the multi-activity court. Yeah.
Can you talk about your funding? How are you planning to raise your funds?
Good question. Yeah. So we won't be charging dues for members. We have that in our constitution because it might be something that we do in the future. But to start, we'll be fundraising, particularly using athletics events fundraising to get some funds to get the club started.
Any other questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Is there a motion? Senator Christopoulos. Senator Christopoulos, first right to debate.
Yeah, I think pickleball has been growing pretty steadily over the past few years, and I think there's definitely a need for on campus, considering almost every time I go in the wellness center, people playing on those courts. So I think this is just a great opportunity. So.
Further discussion? Okay. Seeing none, we will take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please call the roll?
Senators Anderson.
Aye.
Bolweg.
Aye.
Bry abstains. Christoffels.
Aye.
Darrench.
Aye.
Foley.
Aye.
Holland.
Aye.
Cadenum.
Aye.
Lopez abstains. Mollison.
Aye.
Huddell.
Aye.
Roca.
Aye.
Sharple Schmidt.
Aye.
Shrestha.
Aye.
Siwa Cody abstains. Sleep.
Roxy, aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Wallen.
Aye.
Warfa.
Aye.
Finance Chair Delahoyd.
Aye.
Chief of Staff Peterson. Aye. Vice President Sierra.
The ayes have it, and the Pickle Club Constitution is approved. Oh my gosh, pickleball club! Wow, I'm all over the place. Okay, moving on. Sorry, pickleball club. Congrats. Moving on to open forum item C, Campus Partner of the Year awards. Hopefully, I don't get any of this grammar messed up. We will begin with the Student Organization Advisor of the Year. Just to give you guys some context, these nominations opened, were about 2 weeks public, and then the Board of Directors selected them this week. So there was some short notice, so some of our nominations were unable to make this meeting, and that is totally okay. They will still receive their award as deserving. We're still going to announce them. Hopefully, we can give them the credit they deserve. Like I said, the first award we will be presenting tonight is the 2026 Student Organization Advisor of the Year. This year's recipient is Zachary Gutzmer, who serves as the advisor of the American Society of Civil Engineers. Zach not only brings helpful technical experience to the chapter, he challenges students to think critically and encourages real-world problem-solving skills. He is invested in the university's core values by maintaining a people-centered mentorship style and goes above and beyond to ensure students are confident as they enter the professional field. This can be quantified through the chapter's 3 back-to-back National Chapter of the Year awards. His nominator said, Zach is a living example of the Jack standard of leadership. Congratulations, Zach. Moving on to the second award we will be presenting is the 2026 Professional Academic Advisor of the Year. This year's recipient is Brenna Rubendahl Lavoie, a first-year advisor in the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences. Brenna transforms the first-year experience for countless students by creating a space where they feel supported, understood, and capable. She cultivates a comfortable environment for students to ask questions, develop advocacy skills, resilience, and a stronger belief in their own potential. Brenna's nominator said, Brenna is the kind of advisor who changes a student's entire college experience for the better. Congratulations, Brenna. I'm not sure she was able to make it in attendance. Brenna, are you here? No? Okay, cool. Moving on to Faculty Advisor of the Year. This year's recipient of the 2026 Faculty Advisor of the Year is Dr. Allison Berry in the College of Education and Human Sciences. Dr. Berry consistently goes above and beyond for her students, inside and outside of the classroom. She promotes professional development and personal growth through her research, interdisciplinary collaboration, and dedication to students. Dr. Berry is a selfless individual who takes additional time outside of her normal curriculum and research hours to push the growth of students in the exercise science program and facilitate meaningful opportunities for students. Dr. Berry's nomination stated, she is pushing the field and student success towards excellence through her multidisciplinary approach, student-faculty mentorship, and innovative ideas. Congratulations, Dr. Berry. Come on up, we'll get a little picture. Moving on to the final award, Campus Partner of the Year. This year's 2026 Campus Partner of the Year Award recipient is Erica Kwam, a professional advisor in the School of Communication and Journalism. According to her nomination, if you ask anyone from COJEL, they'll tell you, Erica is the best. Erica is an overall exemplary individual that supports students and staff at SDSU. She is organized, passionate, and focused on student success. This is shown through her COJO Friday messages, friendly smile, and valuable wisdom. You'll catch Erica wearing Jackrabbit yellow and blue all the time. This representation of our school's colors mixed with her personable character demonstrates SDSU's people-centered values and her strong merit for this award. Congratulations, Erica. Thank you. All right, thank you guys so much. All of the nominations, the board of directors were really impressed with all of the nominations this year. We have a lot of really good faculty and staff here at SDSU, and we were able to see the inside perspective from that. We will now move on to open forum item D, Senator of the Year Award. This year's Senator of the Year is Senator Shashir Rocha. Senator Rocha exemplifies hard work, dedication, and true commitment to advocate for what is right. Senator Rocha spends many hours beyond his requirement in the office and brings a welcoming smile and often snacks with him. He's a selfless advocate for his peers, food service quality, and efficiency on campus. He will always lend a helping hand whenever needed and contributes to meaningful discussion. Congratulations, Senator Rocha. Moving on to open forum item E, Ex Officio of the Year Award. This year's Ex Officio of the Year is Ex Officio Noah Johnson, representing the Residence Hall Association. Noah contributes to discussion inside and outside of Senate meetings and consistently advocates for his organization. Noah is thorough, driven, and an inherent leader. Congratulations, Noah. Just to reiterate, all nominations of those awards, Senator of the Year and Ex Officio of the Year were voted on by our Senate, our peers, and then the Board of Directors nominated the other awards. Everyone will get plaques with their names engraved. Just takes a little time. So thank you for your patience and congratulations. And I left my pen over there, but it's okay. Moving on to open forum item F, public comments. Are there any members of the public that would like to address the Senate tonight? Come on up.
Good evening. First, congrats to faculty and staff and students on their awards. How exciting. Thank you for your leadership and everything that you all do for SDSU. My name is Marge Collins, Director of Student Connection and Engagement, and I'm also speaking on behalf of Dr. Shelley Baer. She wishes she could be here tonight, but she has a commitment in Chicago with the Higher Learning Commission Student Success Academy. I want to begin by saying that serving in this body matters. You are entrusted with representing all SDSU students, and the conversations that happen in this room help shape whether students feel seen, protected, and valued on this campus. I'm speaking tonight because of what I observed during your last meeting, and because of what that moment revealed about the importance of moving from good intentions to practice action. During the discussion and the resolution addressing mature audience events in the student union, participation was limited. More concerning, however, was the direction the conversation took. While the resolution stemmed from a concern about one specific incident involving a comedian in an open public space, the discussion shifted towards the GSA's annual drag show, an event that has consistently followed university policy, taken place in a closed space, carded attendees, and prioritized safety through the hiring of additional security. That shift mattered. It mattered because when a student organization that has fully complied with policies scrutinized in this way, it sends a message, intentional or not, about who is questioned, who is defended, and who is expected to justify their presence. It was also concerning that when a question was raised about where GSA's Trivia Night is held, an event without mature content, no one paused to ask why that question was being asked or what assumptions sat underneath it. Those moments are exactly where bystanders become essential. Silence, especially in moments that touch identity, is not neutral. In that same meeting, this body proposed and later advanced an ordinance denouncing hate at our university. That ordinance defines hate speech as expression that targets individuals or groups based on identity, including sexual orientation and gender identity. That commitment is incredibly meaningful, and it is only meaningful if it guides how we show up in real time, when conversations are uncomfortable, and when harm shows up quietly rather than overtly. This is why I want to strongly encourage each of you to attend the Bystander to Upstander session later this week. It is being offered as part of the Jack Stand Together programming you endorsed in Ordinance 25-1-0. This training is about awareness, skill building, and growth. It is about learning how to notice when a conversation crosses a line, how to ask clarifying questions that interrupt harm, and how to ensure that all students, including queer students, are represented with the same care and fairness we expect for ourselves. You have already said through your ordinance that hate has no place here. Now this is the opportunity to practice what it looks like to uphold that value in meetings, in policy discussions, and in moments when speaking up feels inconvenient or uncomfortable. Leadership is not just what we pass. It is about what we challenge. It is who we protect, and it's whether we are willing to act when it matters most. I encourage you all to attend the Bystander to Upstander training on Thursday, starting at 6 p.m. in the Student Union, room 253. I appreciate you all and thank you for your time.
Are there any additional members of the public that would like to address the Senate tonight?
Hamitakiapi, Nabeari Smith Makiapi, Asa ex officio Hamacha. Hello, my relatives. I am Nabeari Smith, and I am the Asa ex officio. As a member of the student body and of ASA, I had many concerns with the first version of Resolution 25-8-R, and I feel that these concerns were not properly addressed before amending and passing this resolution. This is why ASA respectfully disagrees with Resolution 25-8-R. I acknowledge that this is the last student association meeting and that we're all pretty burnt out at this point in the semester. And I would like for student association to prioritize elections due to this being our last meeting. However, I think it's crucial for us to let our concerns be known as the American Indian Student Association so that our concerns can be addressed further within the next meeting and next student association board. This resolution was proposed in a positive light for all students here on campus, but this could have unintended consequences for many student organizations. Considering GSA's drag shows and how they're now required to relocate, I wonder about how easily a complaint could impact ACE's events, even if we're following policy and protocol. Thankfully, we have not encountered complaints about our Wachipi's family friendliness. In the event that someone was to take issue with one of our events, and it is deemed necessary for us to relocate, this could directly impact our new Indigenous fashion show and our annual Wachipi's. Considering this, ACE's main concerns include how the PAC cannot host events such as our Wachipi, where we would need a large open floor space, which the PAC cannot provide. We are also concerned about security protocols regarding tribal identification, which are required to be state and federally recognized, and many of our relatives only carry this kind of identification. We would like reassurance that they can attend our events if the events are deemed 18+. Lastly, I would like to acknowledge President Spear for her clarification about the impact that this resolution could have on ASA's events and security. ASA would like to encourage the option to revisit this resolution in the next student association session in case clubs and the student body have additional concerns, especially since this was passed so close to the end of the semester session. Thank you all, and do you have any questions?
First off, I really want to commend you for coming up here and thank you for your work this semester. I know we have our future Senate sitting in the back currently right now, but I am just curious, and especially hearing from Marge earlier, what
potentially, if this were to come back to the Senate, is there any specificities of what was passed last week, like the amended version, that you would like to readdress?
When I had met with ASA executive and general members, they expressed very similar concerns concerning tribal identification and security protocols alongside the relocation. I know that we recently hosted our first Indigenous fashion show, and a lot of people, well, I suppose not a lot, but some people are worried that that could come with some complaints.
Thank you.
So it seems like you're kind of relating it to the first resolution I brought up, not the amended one. And nowhere in the amended resolution was there a relocation, so would that still affect the amended resolution with your club?
The reason that I had brought this up for the original resolution was because regrettably I did not participate in the discussion that day, and so I wanted to make it known what I felt and the concerns that ASA has.
I have a question that you might need to defer, but you had specifically said that GSA is never going to leave their drag show. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I did say that, and that could be incorrect. As far as I know, that was just something I had drafted in there really quick.
If anyone is able to clarify this, I don't believe the amendment,
the amended version made it so that it was more of a recommendation and not a requirement for all 18 plus shows to move from the ballroom to the pack. So while it could be affected with the recommendation, it's not guaranteed.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Thank you.
thank you.
Any other members of the public that would like to address the Senate tonight? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to committee and staff reports, beginning with my own. Want to start by giving my report. The Board of Regents is welcoming a partnership with CampusWorks to evaluate IT input. I would like to have an SA representative at one of the open forums they are offering. These both can be found in the Rabbit Report sent out today, but it is the April 15th. There's a student forum from 10:30 to 11:15 a.m. and another open forum from 4:15 to 5 p.m. The 10:31 is in 262 in the Union, and the 4:15 one is in 265 in the Union as well. So if you are able to attend or you plan on attending that event, I would ask that you discuss with me so we can talk about some of SA's concerns with, or feedback specifically regarding IT and other students. I would strongly encourage you guys to go to this event as well to advocate for some feedback that might be beneficial to your education. A while ago, we went to the Board of Regents meeting on April 1st. This was myself, Vice President Sira, Government Affairs Chair Hunt, and 6 other senators. I want to thank you guys first for coming. It was a good experience that you guys were able to see the Board of Regents meeting work, but it was also fun to take you guys. So thank you again for making that work. What we did at the Board of Regents meeting, we began with a discussion with Senator John Thune, discussing leadership strategies and current goals moving forward. After that, we had our Student Federation meeting. If you guys remember, I sent out the large packet that entailed a lot of bylaw amendments to the Student Federation, give you guys an update. All of those amendments failed, except for the Vice President clarification amendment, as well as the amendment with supporting compliance with South Dakota Board of Regents policy There are continued discussions about the failed amendments that Government Affairs Chair Hunt can report about in her report. After our Student Federation meeting, we had a roundtable discussion with the regents about the funding model for the Student Federation. This was a pretty key meeting, as it was face-to-face roundtable discussion to give every school's input on what it would look like for that increase in the Student Federation's budget. Want to kind of report on what I had talked about. I had said, because the Student Association has not taken a stance on the GAF allocation specifically, we only really talked about it as a group, and it was honestly kind of a more negative consensus. I didn't want to discourage discussion about it. I just wanted to clarify that SDSU hadn't made a stance on it. That being said, the regents were really receptive of student feedback, and they were very happy that we were able to not only tell them that, but get in front of them and give that feedback directly. I know I'm not leaving, but I still wanted to give a proper farewell to the Senate term. It is at this very table where I have furthered my passion for public service and desire to lead. Sat in that chair right there to begin with, and now I'm up here. And for that, I thank each and every one of you guys. Holy crap, I said I wasn't gonna cry for this. I'm not even retiring, okay. Thank you all for your patience as I've struggled up here. Thank you for understanding and the grace you've given me. Thank you, senators, for taking a leap and representing your voice for the students at SDSU. Thank you, ex officios, for your unmatched patience and consistency in showing up to represent your constituents. Thank you, advisors, for guiding us through tough decisions that haven't come to easy, but also as we have grown this year. Thank you to my executive team for every time you kept me sane, which hasn't exactly been easy. Every time I needed a Canva expert or some small details on the website changed. Thank you for every time you wrote legislation, organized meetings, and for all the times our teamwork has led to something meaningful for the students of SDSU. Lastly, I want to thank Vice President Sierra for being the foundation behind completing our goals. Oh, dang it! Okay. And for being an amazing partner this year. I couldn't have done this without you, and it's been an honor to serve as the 2025-2026 Student Association President, and I hope to continue this positive legacy in my next term. Oh my goodness, okay. Sorry. That's all. Sorry, I'm not retiring. I don't know why I'm crying, but we're gonna move on with reports. Vice President Sierra.
Thank you to all those who attended the Student Federation and the Board of Regents Roundtable in Madison. Hopefully it was educational for you all. You got to see what a typical Board of Regents meeting is like on a Wednesday. You didn't get to see the Thursday side of it, but you got to be at the social and some of those other things, so that was pretty cool. Tonight we'll be swearing in the new president and vice president, their new exec team, as well as the elected senators and senator at larges. With that being said, this will be my last meeting with you all. My speech that I have written is kind of a speech. It's definitely not as well written as Sophie's, so bear with me. I'd like to thank all the senators, past and present, for all the work that you've put in to make this university a better place. The advisors for adding criticism, advice, and encouragement. Our exec team for making everything possible behind the scenes. And of course, Sophie for everything she has done and will continue to do for the Students Association and SDSU. I believe SDSU is at a good place and is headed towards an even greater place. For all of you young folks, a little advice. It might not seem like it now, but 4 years goes incredibly fast. I was told as a freshman to get involved, learn, and enjoy college because it'll be over in a blink of an eye. Now sitting here, about 4 years later, I realize just how fast it's gone. I would say to you, get involved in every opportunity that you have time for. Make sure you have time for it, because otherwise you'll regret it. I've started to finally manage that. Give it your all, but remember the experience and friendships you make while at SDSU are lifelong. So never let anything get in the way of that. I had a great time here at SDSU, and I've met some amazing people and have made great lifelong friends. I wish you all the same, and if you need me, I will be back in Minnesota, but I'm always available by phone. Thank you all and best of luck.
Chief of Staff Peterson.
I have a couple reminders. First, there are still a couple of stoles in the office, so if you did not pick up your stole, please grab that. It's on the back by the printer. Also, almost everyone who is getting sworn in tonight should have gotten either a file folder or manila envelope with a code of ethics and oath of office in there. If you did not get that, someone next to you should have it, and you'll have to bring that forward when you get sworn in. Also, new senators got lapel pins that have a little SA logo on them. Otherwise, you get to keep everything in your folders except for the code of ethics and oath of office. Make sure you give those to the new chief of staff, Senator Sharples-Schmidt, after the meeting. And also, if you're not returning, you can keep your nameplate. Or if you are at large and going to be in a college next year, you can keep your nameplate. And now, shockingly, my remarks are shorter than Wesley's, which doesn't happen often because I talk a lot. But as most of you know, this is my last meeting, and I just want to say that I'm so thankful for everyone from my executive team to senators, advisors, and ex officios. It's been a really chaotic year, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm really grateful. And I'm really proud to be a part of what SA stands for. I think in this room, a lot of really important changes are made and a lot of differences happen. And I just want to encourage you all that what you're doing matters, and stay involved and continue to work hard. And thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Finance Chair Delahoyd.
To start, I attended the UPD recruitment, police chief recruitment meeting. So they had an open forum for staff and faculty, and then they also had one for students. For the faculty one, they had about 40 to 50 faculty that showed up. The students one, I was alone. It was just me and the recruiters. But I went there and represented you guys. We talked a lot about more of a police chief being a face on campus. We talked about prioritizing the students as the customers for UPD, more community policing, walking around campus, more public info and posters with safety stats and different offerings of UPD, focus on daily service over big events, more programs like Coffee with the Cops. Then we talked about the vice president structure, and then redoing the blue button system around campus. So that was just some of the discussion we had, as well as talking about some characteristics and stuff for finding a new UPD chief. They did walk me through the policy. They will not be bringing their candidates to campus, as they want to be able to protect their candidates if they have jobs elsewhere. So they will not come to campus. We will not have another say in it. This was kind of the one shot we had for us and the faculty to give input on that. So with that, once they do announce one, which they're hoping to have done before the next school year, this recruitment agency will be on for another year as they kind of mentor the new chief and kind of help SDSU and the new chief with that transition. Moving on, March expenses came through, and so I'll be processing those. The budget that we passed was approved by President Dunn, so it is finalized. So all of those club funding amounts are fully finalized now. And then I'll be sending letters out to all of the clubs for their final funding amounts. My last little bit is a thank you to the Finance Committee this year for all of your long hours, hard work. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, President Spear, for your continued confidence in me and allowing me to serve another term. And thank you, senators, especially the seniors, and those of us that are leaving, for all of your hard work. And thank you, Shashir, for all of the laughs. End of report.
Government. I suppose we can clap for Dominic. Moving on to Government Affairs Chair Hunt.
Yeah, before Easter break, I attended the Student Federation and Board of Regents meeting with our group that attended. I also attended the Student Federation meeting that happened last night with President Spear and Vice President Sierra. We voted on a few amendments to the bylaws and also a resolution to open discussion with the Board of Regents on the potential GAF increase that we talked about last meeting. We had a first reading on Amendment 26 S007, which is a voting amendment. The original voting amendment we had did fail. This is a new one. It will be split into two amendments. The first one is a 2/3 voting amendment for just specifically communications and positions or recommendations that we send to the Board of Regents, not legislatively at all.
And then the second amendment of that would be a 5/6 vote, which is 10 people of the 12-person body that we have. And that would be for state legislative advocacy, so that would be for formal positions that we take in the state legislature. I would like to know your thoughts on this amendment, since it was just the first reading of it, and that will be for questions or reports at all. You guys can just let me know what your thoughts are on it. I'll be attending the city council meeting tomorrow with our new government affairs chair. And there will also be a student promotion fund committee on Wednesday at 12 p.m. It's in the room of the union, which is just off of the VBR Breezeway. And finally, I would like to thank all of you guys for your time this year. With your help, we were able to testify and peer for oppositions to the 2 bills that we had, which were successfully killed in committee. We were also able to increase the student promotion fund by 10% and open that up for more RSOs and their opportunity to host speakers for their organization in the community. And I'm forever grateful for this opportunity and wish the upcoming senators and executive team all the best. And finally, I would like to congratulate Senator Bollweg on launching his campaign for District 24 House of Representatives as well. End of report.
Communications Chair Ringenberg.
Tomorrow I'll be attending Faculty Senate one more time. I've also been working on some final website updates, and then the Robert report was sent out this morning. That's all I have for updates. I just want to say thank you. Thank you all for everything you do for the student body and for making this year as part of SA so enjoyable. I've had a great year with all of you. The Senate is full of great people who I know can accomplish great things. I had a great time as the comms chair, and I'm thankful for all the help everyone provided me with. I hope you all have a great rest of the year and your time at SDSU, and I just want to wish everyone good luck. End of report.
Diversity Liaison Alex.
Yeah, so I attended the Diversity Summit at Augustana University last Saturday, along with some members from the Student Engagement Center. We had a guest speaker from South Dakota Voices for Peace come and talk about her experience as a Muslim woman, and as well as Naima Thasing, who is the president of the NAACP chapter here at in South Dakota. And she shared some personal anecdotes and just what resilience means to her in regards to facing oppression as a woman of color. But yeah, I would just like to thank each and every one of you guys for an amazing experience here in the Students Association. Being an SA has taught me a lot of valuable lessons, and I'm proud to have been given the opportunity to serve and just be a part of the change. I want all of you guys to know that being here, sitting in these seats, it really means a lot. And yeah, never forget like the impact that you guys have on the students here at SDSU, and this school wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for you guys. Report.
Moving on to ex officios, AFA.
Easter egg hunt went really well. We are currently trying to decide what to do for fundraising. We have a couple ideas in mind, like gun raffle or something. We're looking to associate with a gun club or the gun shops here in Brookings, maybe even Sioux Falls. The hike, it went really well. I think we had 15 members come to that. It was a great time. We're thinking about continuing that, doing it like once or twice a year, just to get out off campus and report.
AISA.
This week, our meeting will include our executive elections, summer birthday celebrations, and the celebration for our successful WTP with the Clippers. Next week, we'll be including ASA meetings at the Lanes. End of report.
BSA. GSA.
This week, we will also be having our exec board meetings, exec board voting last week we gathered up all the clothing, and we managed to drive over to Sioux Falls, us and the rest of the exec board, to Marty's Closet and donate a lot of clothes, thanks to everyone who donated. And we also got to look at the Prism Center, and we got to speak to a lot of fun people in a report.
Hero.
Our next event is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pioneer Room, and we're gonna do a campus cleanup for Earth Day. That's coming up. End of report.
Honors College?
I have a bit of a lengthy report. I'll try to keep it as brief as I can, but there's a lot going on in the Honors College. So first, this past weekend was the Upper Midwest Honors Conference. We had 36 SDSU students attend. We were the highest attendees as far as numbers go. It was in Madison, South Dakota at DSU. And so we had a lot of students presenting their research, their senior capstones, as well as discussions about honors. Tomorrow, April 14th, is the Student Research Scholarship and Creative Activity Day, or SERSCAD. So from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the ballroom, go see, talk to students that have done a lot of research and hard work. You can also fill out a scavenger hunt form for the opportunity to win a $20 Starbucks gift card. So that's also your incentive to go. And then finally, this Friday night at 7 p.m., the Honors College Student Organization is hosting their spring formal. This year it is free of cost, and you can just head to the Union. We're hosting it in Jack's Place, so go to the lower level, and the theme is Night in New Orleans. End of report.
IRC? Lassa?
Our form went out today for elections that everybody is running unopposed, so our board has basically been selected.
RHA?
We provided funding for a taco feed that is taking place in JRV on April 30th. From 6 to 7, it is for JRV residents only, but from 7 to 8, it seems like it'll be open to everyone. So if you are around campus on April 30th, feel free to go with that. We also held nominations, and we'll be holding elections next week. End of report.
Unified Council?
Happy Greek Week, everyone. We've got events planned every day, so that'll be really fun. Today was Pi President. Everyone had fun doing that. Tomorrow we have Fraternity Feud. Wednesday we're having Air Band. If you guys are interested, you might see Vice President Sierra dancing on a stage, so show up to that on Wednesday. Thursday we have Feats of Strength, and then Friday we're wrapping things up with our awards. Other than that, Pike is hosting Pike-a-Palooza next Friday, which is a social event with a live band, open to everyone. So if you got nothing going on next Friday, you can check out their Instagram. And then to wrap up this semester, we're hosting a all-fraternity social at the Alpha Gamma Row House on April 30th. And report.
Unified Council?
I think Grant kind of covered it with Greek Week for us as well. That's about it. End report.
UPC?
So 2 weeks ago, we had Clay Creations, which was a ton of fun, and it was super fun seeing how the students were creative making their projects. This last weekend, UPC brought 7 coordinators to NACA, which is the National Association of Campus Activities Midwest Conference. It was a really great experience, and it gave us many skills to use for planning and hosting events for next fall and throughout the next year. Coming up this Thursday, the 16th, we are having an event at McCrory Gardens from 10:30 to 12 o'clock. It'll be a guided yoga class that will take place at the Great Hall there, and all registered participants will receive a free yoga mat. And there will also be a yoga giveaway basket there, so make sure if you see a poster, you can register using the QR code on there. May Day is also coming up, which is our big event at the end of the year that is taking place on Friday, May 1st. We'll be having bands, food, and many activities. So if you want to get involved with that and help volunteer, you could talk to me, or you could also talk to Senator Annalyn, who is also very much planning this event if you'd like to help out. End of report.
Moving on to advisors, Advisor Bylander.
Senators and whatnot who are leaving, thank you for serving on this body. I think when I started, I mentioned this body is really important because this is your way of participating in shared governance, right? And making your voice like officially known at SDSU. And so thank you for your service. New senators and returning senators, looking forward to seeing what you guys do next year. I think that's it. End of report.
Advisor Schmidt?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Congratulations on a good year. It's been one of the, I think, more active years that I've seen, especially on the finance side, with starting all the new budgets and monies and stuff like that. So congratulations on a really good year. I guess I don't have anything much else to say. There's a spring cleanup happening. You guys are doing something. Who's doing the spring cleanup? Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys? So I always tell the Senate this every year. The snow's gone, usually, and then it leaves behind a lot of garbage. So when you're walking around campus, don't be afraid, bend over, pick up a piece of garbage. If we all do that, campus will be spruced up pretty quickly. I know I do that on my way in if I see anything. But participate in some of the spring cleanup stuff that's going on for Earth Day. I won't be there because they got me speaking in Flandreau to all the public school students or something. So I gotta give a talk, so that'll be interesting. I don't know what I'm gonna say yet, but I'm sure it'll be great. End of report.
Moving on to committee reports. Are there any committees that would like to report out tonight? Senator Mollison?
Yes, the Access, Opportunity, and Belonging Committee met this past week. And we went over the status of the climate survey again, and then we just kind of reevaluated the critiques, especially between what was on the faculty side. There's some issues there, and then just kind of reevaluating again what to do moving forward, especially getting faculty involved in engagement with students. We then also talked about the Jack Stand Together events, and we also talked about faculty's involvement with that, and getting the word out to all the faculty members, and if anyone can attend the events, that'd be awesome. And then we also discussed the ordinance that we are going to be talking about tonight. Just kind of were curious about that, and we heard from her, and she just come, she was here earlier, and yeah, we just kind of discussed about Jack Stand Together. Yeah.
Other committees to report out? All right. Are there any questions or comments for any of the reports tonight? Any additional feedback? Oh, sorry.
I had a question. I don't know if you guys have been talking about this, but when you talked about student fed voting, and I understand you guys, they're changing the voting. I didn't know if everybody understood that. But it used to be you had to have unanimous consent to take a position.
It still is.
It still is, but
This amendment would make it
they
2/3.
changed that. So consider that very carefully as students. And so I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that. I guess I'm seeing a lot of head shaking, so I'm guessing
Yeah.
you get it.
Kind of to reiterate from my perspective, the difference between the amendment package that I delivered to you guys 2 weeks ago, it was a big long document, is just that addition of the 5, 6, or 10 affirmative voting members to take an official stance to the legislator, communications, or the Board of Regents, as Government Affairs Chair Hunt said. Does anyone have any opinions on whether there's a difference between a 2/3 majority being needed for resolutions, just internal student federation happenings? That would be resolutions that we pass just like this. Those would effectively only need a 2/3 vote. I will say, after visiting with the meeting on Sunday, there's still a divide in which I'm on the side that if we're going to take a stance, it needs to be unanimous. But I would really welcome some feedback on that, because we will be, it's called division of the question, so instead of doing a new first reading and a new second reading, we'll simply be voting on these two amendments separately. So we do have the ability to approve one of them and not the other. And I would welcome some feedback on that 2/3 resolution, internal stuff, if there is any. Okay. If you guys have any conversations, we will be effectively meeting and doing elections with that body in the following weeks. So please probably contact myself, and then Senator Mollison and Government Affairs Chair Hunt are also kind of involved in this process as well. Dr. Schmidt?
I'll make one comment since nobody spoke. So if you're doing a 2/3, the student fed, you guys don't speak as one voice. So let's say the SDSU contingent said, we say no, but 2/3 say yes. The potential is student fed's advocating for one thing, SDSU goes and advocates for something else. So even if you have the 2/3, it doesn't prevent you from advocating a position that's against student fed. That's kind of the danger too of not having it as unanimous, because now you have, if one school doesn't agree, they're gonna be trying to advocate for a different position, and it looks like you guys are a little divided, but you have to think about that strategically.
Government Affairs Chair Hunt.
That was one of the biggest discussions we had about last night, especially when it comes to legislation in peer, was just how it would look for student federation coming in support or in opposition to a bill, and then one other school being the only school in the Board of Regents that came in support or in opposition of that bill. That was one of the biggest discussions we had.
Any other discussions on that student federation stuff? Any other additional comments for reports tonight? I just want to add in addition to my report, thank you very much, Asa, and I know Marge left, but thank you very much for coming up here and speaking. Student Association is the voice of the students, and if there are students that feel they are not being represented, it is our job to hear and listen to you guys. So I thank you very much. And I will say, moving forward as the next term president, we would be happy to work with you guys. And it sounds like some of our senators are interested in revisiting that resolution. I just want to make it so clear that Student Association is here to represent all students. We're here to speak for all students. And I immediately regretted my silence. So I would strongly encourage senators to think about that. We had an opportunity and we missed it. Going forward, if you are being reelected or you being appointed, and this can be involved in any leadership experience, is there going to be times where I feel like I'm not supposed to speak? But there are times where you need to, and as student leaders, we should know when those times are. So I commend you for coming, and Marge, I know she's not here, but for letting us know how serious this is, because it is. I think we have gotten to the point where silence is just as bad. So, and I think that line is exactly stated in the ordinance that we'll be moving forward with. So I think if we pass this and we really see the intent behind this ordinance, myself included, we really need to see the intent behind our actions and the actions we haven't taken. Any other questions for reports tonight? Okay, moving on to unfinished business. Item A, Ordinance 25-1-0. Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please introduce this item?
Ordinance 25-1-0. Title of ordinance reads, SDSU Students Association denounces all forms of hate speech and supports the implementation of awareness-based reporting initiatives for the 2026-2027 school year. Prime sponsor includes Finance Chair Delahoyd. Sponsors include President Spear, Vice President Sierra, Chief of Staff Peterson, Government Affairs Chair Hunt, Communications Chair Ringenberg, Diversity Liaison Alex, Senators Mollison, Cadenham, Lopez, Warfa, Bolweg, Derringe, Anderson, Christoffels, and Sharple-Schmidt.
Does there anyone request this item reread in full? It has been requested.
Ordinance 25-1-0. Title of ordinance reads, SDSU Students Association denounces all forms of hate speech and supports the implementation of awareness-based reporting initiatives for the 2026-2027 school year. Whereas recent events involving hate speech and offensive language have garnered significant attention across television, newspapers, and social media, casting a light on issues that affect the safety and belonging of our student body. And whereas the South Dakota State University Students Association recognizes that while regional tolerances for certain language may vary, such rhetoric has no place within our academic community. And whereas we acknowledge the student body's historical lack of decisive action regarding these issues, and that past ignorance or a lack of formal reporting does not justify continued silence. And whereas the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution guarantees equal protection to all individuals, a principle that the Students Association holds as a cornerstone for a fair and inclusive campus environment. And whereas the Office of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management's Jack Stand Together initiative represents a vital, fundamental, and necessary step toward unity, education, and the proactive dismantling of discriminatory behaviors. And whereas the SDSU Students Association explicitly states that such behaviors are not tolerated now, nor will they be tolerated in the future. Therefore, be it ordained that the Students Association formally declares that hate speech and discriminatory actions are unacceptable. We hold ourselves and our peers to a standard that transcends regional biases, prioritizes the dignity of every student. Be it further ordained that when situations of bias or hate speech arise, the Student Association commits to increased advocacy for the affected groups. We strongly encourage all individuals to speak up and formally report instances of hate speech through official university channels to ensure a transparent record of campus climate. Be it further ordained that the Student Association encourages the university administration to hold a firm line against discriminatory actions and to issue a clear public statement outlining accountability and the potential consequences for such conduct. We urge the university to implement more robust instruction and orientation modules focused on addressing and preventing these events. Be it further ordained that the SDSU Students Association officially endorses and encourages all students to attend the Office of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management's Jack Stand Together events. These gatherings serve as the primary vehicle for raising awareness and fostering the empathy necessary to prevent future instances of hate. Be it finally ordained that the SDSU Students Association denounces all forms of hate speech, standing firm and steadfast in upholding the promise and the pledge of equal protection under the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, committing to change from a legacy of silence toward a future defined by active, intentional advocacy, fully endorsing the Jack Stand Together initiative, that we call upon the university to implement rigorous and comprehensive educational standards and clear consequences for discriminatory actions, ensuring that within the next year and for the duration of this ordinance, every student feels empowered to report injustice and stand in unity against hate.
Is there a motion? Finance Chair Delahoyd?
I move to approve.
Finance Chair Delahoyd first, right?
I would like to first make a motion to amend, this ordinance to version 25-1-OA, the amended version. This just cleans up a few language things after talking with the university administration, and then also just cleans up a couple wording errors in there too, so.
Second.
25-O-A is, yep, I was gonna say it is on the screen. I feel like maybe we can just walk through the amendments instead of reread the whole. I think maybe Finance Chair Delahoyd, if you just wanna walk through each of the amendments you made.
Yeah, so first one is we just did more of an introduction statement to start. So that's the first whereas clause that reads, whereas SDSU is a welcoming, safe, and high-quality educational space that respects all students and staff regardless of race, gender, or ideology. The second one says, whereas this is highlighted in our core values of people-centered and opportunity for all. And then we struck out a clause about regional tolerance, just because it didn't sound quite right. And then we added a clause that says, whereas this behavior is not representative of the inclusive and safe climate at SDSU. Down here, we just, once again, regional, crossing that out. Just added the words and partake in student-faculty conversations. And then down here, just remove the word rigorous.
So there is a motion to effectively replace the original 25-1-O with 25-1-OA. Is there any objections to this? Or discussion on the motion, discussion on the amendments? No objections? Okay, we're gonna take this to a voice vote to the motion to amend 25-1-O to read 25-1-OA. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we will now move forward with 25-1-OA, the amended version as highlighted on the screen. We'll get that formatted on the screen. Now I would open back to previous question. The motion on the floor is to approve. Any discussion on this? Senator Bolwig?
Yeah, I just want to commend Finance Chair Delahoyd for putting in the work on this resolution. It was very quick. after listening to Mr. J come in the other day. There's absolutely no place for hate speech on this campus, and where this resolution's clearly not related to any past, or this ordinance is clearly not related to any past resolutions. I just want to say thanks for getting this out there.
Further discussion? I'd like to just entertain some discussion, not a motion, just on if we could scroll to the second, be it further ordained. I just want to kind of clarify as a body that this wording is something that we would like to stand behind. Any discussion? Senator Mollison?
Okay, I know, I spoke with Sophie on this, earlier, and I did kind of help originally, was part of this original discussion when we were drafting this. With that second, be it further ordained clause, I feel like it is worded just a little bit, for lack of a better term, aggressively, especially if we ourselves as a governing body don't have the right to like punish or, you know, like seek consequences for the students that do engage in this conduct. I feel like it could be reworded a little bit, for lack of a better term, kinder and more broad as a more general statement that we disapprove of this, but we aren't saying, is that what we were kind of discussing?
Yeah, I'll let Finance Chair Delhard if you wanted to pitch in.
Yeah, the reason I left it like this is because I didn't want this to just be another commemoration where it's very fluffy. I wanted it to actually have some punch behind it, so that's why it is so aggressive. It's just because it actually then means something. It isn't just something that we then wrote to say, oh, Mr. J came and we're writing something that like supports all of those that were affected. I wanted this to be something that actually has some impact behind it. So that's why when I initially wrote this, it was a little bit more firm than it was kind and fluffy and just continue on our ways.
I will say kind of my rebuttal to that, Finance Chair Delahoyte. I think that the action specifically I find the most influential is we urge the university to implement more robust instruction and orientation models focusing on preventing these events. That's a tangible item the university has the ability to take. The reason I kind of hold up, or that I opened this discussion up, I wanted to hear you guys' opinion. It says, and to issue a clear public statement outlining accountability and the potential consequences for such conduct. I have no doubt that this is well-intentioned. I was wondering if there were other wordings that we could use to better align with what the university can actually do. I mean, we're talking about this video that circulated, and we as a university found out that there's only so much we can find out about the consequences due to federal law. It's frustrating, I have no doubt. I know that we want to keep people accountable as they should be. My question was whether it is appropriate for us to encourage the university to do something that they're not subject to do. I have new language, but I would entertain more discussion. Finance Chair Delahoyte?
My one thing with that would be, this isn't asking for them to make any statement on a specific incident. This is more of, hey, if these things were to happen, here are some potential consequences, and make that more of a public thing so that people understand that like their actions actually have consequences, not saying if this person or this event happened, here's our public statement on the consequences they're gonna have. It's more of a general, here's what could happen if these actions were taken by students, just so that students know more that like, yeah, what they say and stuff, even if it's off campus, it does impact their ability to be a student here at SDSU.
Senator Mollison?
I'd like to engage in that further because I totally agree, and I get the idea of especially making a more firm, less fluffy ordinance, especially kind of in light of events that have happened recently. But I'm just curious if there's a way we could say, like, if there's a way we could reword that, and, this is open to anybody's opinion, to say, like, make, not necessarily even like a public statement, because I worry that that would then be kind of on the line with the law, especially after, this is after the events have occurred, to maybe have something just suggesting that becomes more public. Did you have a thought on this?
Yeah, I do.
Senator Bolwig.
Yeah, completely agree with Senator Mollison here. I, like, going against federal law, if I could entertain, I'd make the motion to take out that line and end it at, I'm not making a motion here, but end it at actions with a period and then go straight into we urge the university, taking that language out, if there's any thoughts on that.
Senator Christoffels.
I just had a clarifying question really quick, that when we say that the Students Association encourages the university, is there any, thing holding the university to actually make any public statements there, or is this kind of just a recommendation on our behalf?
It is a recommendation on our behalf. That's for clarification. And to add, I would say one of the reasons why I specifically wanted to address this is because the more united the university is in what action we can take, the more strong it's going to be. So as I had said, I know President Dunn and Vice President Willis visited the American Indian Student Center to talk about this about a month ago, and that specific topic got brought up. And that was a clarifying moment for a lot of people. Like I said, it was frustrating to know that there's only so much we can know about the consequences. Senator Bolwig, I agree with you that striking that line. I have proposed language, not an amendment or not a motion, just proposed to say, instead of to issue, it says to take appropriate action against discriminatory behavior and hold individuals who partake in such behavior accountable in accordance with SDSU policy, SD codified law, BOR policy, and federal law. Then it would go into we urge. Senator Bolwig.
I move to amend the main motion by striking out, where are we at here? And to issue a clear public statement outlining accountability and the potential consequences for such conduct, and inserting what President Spear just said.
Second.
I
couldn't write it quick enough, so.
Do you want to maybe just write it down so we can see it?
We're just gonna get it up on the screen, so maybe make a comment if you're able. Discussion on this motion as we get it up on the screen. Senator Anderson.
Yeah, let's pass this real quick.
Finance Chair Delaware. The bulk of the statement is up there. Just want to entertain any more discussion on this. Okay, motion on the table is to amend 25-1-0A to strike and issue a clear public statement outlining accountability and the potential consequences for such conduct, and replacing it with the comment on the screen. When we take this to a voice vote, All those in favor of amending, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Alright, documents amended, we can get that inserted. Any further discussion on the original motion? Finance Chair Delahoyd.
I move previous question.
Previous question, oh, yeah, thank you. Previous question limits the voice of the majority body, so we will take this to a voice vote to move previous question. Previous question would take this effectively back to the original approval motion. All those in favor of previous question, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we'll take this right into a voice vote on the approval of the amended version of 25-1-0. Momentarily.
Vice President Sierra.
Aye.
Chief of Staff Peterson, aye. Finance Chair Delahoyd.
Aye.
Senators Warfa.
Aye.
Wallen.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Sleep. Abstains. Siwa Cody abstains. Shrestha.
Aye.
Sharples Schmidt.
Aye.
Roca.
Aye.
Paudel.
Aye.
Mollison.
Aye.
Lopez abstains. Catanum. Holland.
Aye.
Foley. Derenge.
Aye.
Christoffels. Bry abstains. Bolweg.
Aye.
Anderson.
The ayes have it, and ordinance 25-1-0A has been approved. Moving on to unfinished business item B, resolution 25-9-R. Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please introduce this item?
Resolution 25-9-R. Title resolution reads, the South Dakota State Student Association resolution to require faculty chaperones to be housed on the same property as students during study abroad trips. Prime sponsor includes Senator Anderson. Sponsors include President Spear, Vice President Sierra, Chief of Staff Peterson, Finance Chair Delahoyd, Government Affairs Chair Hunt, Senators Bolweg, Sharples Schmidt, Roca, and Derenge.
Anyone request this item be read in full? Is there a motion on the table? Senator Anderson.
Motion to amend to resolution 25-9.
We need a motion to approve first.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Now, Senator Anderson.
Motion to amend resolution 25-9-R to 25-9-RA to add two whereas clauses. And
We can get that on there. Okay. Senator Anderson, if you would mind just walking us through your amendments.
yeah, my computer's dead, so I will read it off the screen. But this just clarifies the term same property used in the rest of the resolution to make it so it's only commercial hospitality properties that are short-term in nature. So it's hotels and hostels basically. And then it provides exemptions to long-term leases at single-family residences and study abroad trips that do not require faculty chaperones.
I'd just like to add some more discussion. I invited the Director of Education Abroad to this meeting in light of this conversation just to get some additional feedback. And I got a prompt response just saying that they were unable to attend the meeting. However, they met immediately with Provost Hedge regarding this potential policy that could be written, and they will address it as soon as possible. In addition, they will be working with Office of General Counsel to ensure that a policy requires both faculty leaders and students to be in the same accommodations going forward. So this received a positive response from university administration, so I would urge yes votes on this. Further discussion? All right, let's take it to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Peterson, please read the roll on the resolution 25-9-RA. No, I'm so sorry. We need to vote on the amendment before we vote on the actual thing. Good catch. All those in favor of amending resolution 25-9-R to add the following clauses, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now we can go to the original motion of approval. Any more discussion? Now we can take it to a voice vote. Sorry about that. Chief of Staff Peterson?
Senators Anderson.
Aye.
Bolweg. Bry abstains. Christoffels. Derenge. Foley. Holland. Catanum. Lopez abstains. Mullison. Paudel. Roca. Sharples Schmidt. Shrestha. Siwakodi abstains. Sleep abstains. Smith.
Aye.
Wallen. Warfa. Finance Chair Delahoyd. Chief of Staff Peterson. Aye. Vice President Sierra.
Ayes have it. Resolution 25-9-RA has been approved. Right, unfinished business item C per the amended agenda, commemoration 25-7-C. Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please introduce this item? Momentarily.
Commemoration 25-7-C. Title of commemoration reads, The South Dakota State University Students Association recognizes April 1st to April 30th as Alcohol Awareness Month, promoting education, responsible decision-making, wellness, and community safety on campus. Prime sponsor includes Senator Bolweg. Sponsors include President Spear, Vice President Sierra, Chief of Staff Peterson, Finance Chair Delahoyd, Government Affairs Chair Hunt, Communications Chair Ringenberg, Diversity Liaison Alex, Senators Derenge, Sharples Schmidt, and Christoffels.
Anyone request this item be read in full? Advisor Schmidt's been requested.
Commemoration 25-7-C. Title of commemoration reads, The South Dakota State University Students Association recognizes April 1st to April 30th as Alcohol Awareness Month, promoting education, responsible decision-making, wellness, and community safety on campus. Whereas Alcohol Awareness Month is observed annually in April to increase understanding of the impact of alcohol misuse, promote healthy behaviors, and encourage informed decision-making among students. And whereas alcohol misuse continues to be a significant concern on college campuses nationwide, contributing to academic difficulties, mental and physical health challenges, accidents, and unsafe behaviors, and whereas educating students about the risks of alcohol use, providing resources for support, and fostering a campus culture that emphasizes responsibility and peer accountability are essential to promoting student well-being. And whereas South Dakota State University is committed to creating a safe and inclusive campus environment by offering programs, counseling services, and educational opportunities that address alcohol-related issues and promote wellness. And whereas campus departments, student organizations, and community partners may host events, seminars, and awareness campaigns throughout the month to encourage dialogue, provide support, and highlight resources for students impacted by alcohol misuse. Therefore, be it commemorated that the South Dakota State University Students Association recognizes April 1st to April 30th as Alcohol Awareness Month and encourages all students to participate in campus events, utilize resources such as campus health services, SDSU wellness programs, and peer support networks, engage in educational opportunities, and foster a community of care, responsibility, and wellness on campus.
Is there a motion? Senator Bolweg?
So moved.
Senator Bolweg, first right to debate.
I'll keep this brief. This commemoration's about promoting awareness and making sure students on campus here have access to the right resources. Alcohol misuse is something that affects campuses everywhere, and we should always support student well-being here at South Dakota State. So please vote yay.
Further discussion? Seeing none, we will take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please introduce this item? Or not roll call. Yep, you knew that.
Vice President Sierra.
Aye.
Chief of Staff Peterson, aye. Finance Chair Delahoyd.
Aye.
Senators Warfa. Wallen. Smith.
Aye.
Sleep abstains. Siwakodi abstains. Shrestha. Sharples Schmidt. Roca. Paudel. Mullison. Lopez abstains. Catanum. Holland. Foley. Derenge. Christoffels. Bry abstains. Bolweg.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Ayes have it, and commemoration 25-7-C is approved. Moving on to new business. We will be beginning with new business item A, swearing in of the president and vice president. If our vice president-elect Megan Christoffels would please come forward.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Maggie Christoffels, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the SDSU Students Association.
I, Maggie Christoffel, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the SDSU Students Association.
Support and proudly represent the students of SDSU.
Support and proudly represent the students of SDSU.
Promote the purposes and educational objectives of SDSU.
And promote the purposes and educational objectives of SDSU.
And faithfully discharge the duties of my elected position to the best of my ability.
And to faithfully discharge the duties of my elected position to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. Then if we could have our president-elect, Sophie Spear, come forward. If you could please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Sophie Spear, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the SDSU Students Association.
I, Sophie Spear, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the SDSU Students Association.
Support and proudly represent the students of SDSU.
Support and proudly represent the students of SDSU.
And promote the purposes and educational objectives of SDSU.
And promote the purposes and educational objectives of SDSU.
And to faithfully discharge the duties of my elected position to the best of my ability.
And to faithfully discharge the duties of my elected position to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Now is the time where if you are not returning to the Senate next year, you may gather your belongings and relinquish your duties and step to the back of the room. We will move on to swearing in of the elected senators. If the elected senators, Dominic Delahoyd, Andrew Sharple-Schmidt, Prafula Shrestha, Norwin Mosfasa Tuli, I'll get it right, Becca Daringe, Natalie Holland, Jackie Mollison, Brenda Katzenam, Avery Kirschbaum, and Noel Dunn. Please come forward. Bring your oath of office, please. Alright, you can all please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the SDSU Students Association.
Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the SDSU Students Association.
Support and proudly represent the students of SDSU.
Support and proudly represent the students of SDSU.
And promote the purposes and educational objectives of SDSU.
And promote the purposes and educational objectives of SDSU.
And to faithfully discharge the duties of my elected position to the best of my ability.
Faithfully discharge the duties of my elected position to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, you may have a seat. Moving forward. So we all have a seat. We will now move on to new business item C, approval and swearing in of at-large senators. I would entertain a motion to approve the following nominations for senator at large as nominated by the board of directors. Lanny Andrews, Lillian Dirkston, Paul Fossen, Laura Schultz, Annalyn Wallen, Savannah Cluster, Lydia Stein, and Kaylee Loof. Senator Vice President Christoffels.
So, second.
All right, we will take this to a voice vote. All those in favor of approving the senator at large, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yep, you got it. All opposed? All right, now that they are approved, I would welcome the at-larges to come up, and likewise, please bring your oath of office. Just want to thank the board of directors for some late nights this week. We had not only to do the awards, but also had a lot of senator interviews. Noah, my sticky note was covering your name. Yep, you can come on up. I'm so sorry, it literally was covering your, okay. So thank board of directors, and we also had a lot of really great candidates. So I just wanna thank everyone for that. Did I miss anybody? Not anymore. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the SDSU Student Association.
Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the SDSU Students Association.
Support and proudly represent the students of SDSU.
Support and proudly represent the students of SDSU.
And promote the purposes and educational objectives of SDSU.
Promote the purposes and educational objectives of SDSU.
And to faithfully discharge the duties of my elected position to the best of my ability.
And to faithfully discharge the duties of my elected position to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, you can have a seat. For people online, we have two senators, Kaylee Loof and Lydia Stein, online as they are currently abroad in Brussels, so it's a very late night for them right now. I think our Zoom is maybe not working, but they, I'm sure, did the oath of office, and we just need to sign it in. Okay, nice. So somehow we're gonna need you to sign, all of you, the oath of office, and get it back to our future chief of staff, which we will now move on to new business item D, approval of the executive team. This likewise will need a voice vote approval of our new Senate. I would entertain a motion to approve the following members. Oh, actually, I caught myself. So all of our executive team to be nominated is actually already sworn in. So because they have taken the same oath of office, I would now just entertain that Andrew Chevrolet-Smith for Chief of Staff, Finance Chair Dominic Delahoyd, Government Affairs Chair Jackie Mollison, Communications Chair Noah Johnson, and Diversity Liaison Brenda Katzenam. Please take your seats at the executive table. Still have to be voted on. Oh my gosh. So I still need a motion to approve. Vice President Christopoulos. I guess can you rescind your motion?
I rescind my motion.
Okay, motion rescinded. Is there a motion to approve the executive team? Senator Derenge. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of approving the stated new executive team, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No matter how many times I do this, I'm always going to mess it up, so I apologize about that. Once we're all settled, I believe I didn't miss anything else. Move on to our next agenda item, topics for future discussion. Are there any topics for future discussion? Obviously, we're all very brand new, but I just want to entertain some discussion after the meeting for the Student Federation stuff. If you guys are interested, we'd be happy to explain some of that. Any further topics for future discussion? All right, moving on to announcements. Any announcements? New senators, welcome. We will have a meeting, 2 meetings for the rest of the semester. Our last meeting will be on April 27th. Further announcements. Is there a motion to adjourn? Senator Derenge.
So moved.
All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Okay.
You've been good. But you know, the nice, sometimes the nice part
But can you just say my?
whenever I go to Chicago.
I'm not in a rush. That's not the word. Say it. I'm not.
You're